Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Wave 3 of the Booster Pass is coming soon, and it looks better than Wave 2, which looks better than Wave 1. It's clear Nintendo is actually putting time into this 5-year-old port now, which makes me super excited because there is a slight potential for them to update the game further with more stuff. I mean, think about it. Before the Booster Pass, no one thought that was possible, so we really just don't know anymore. With that context added, hey guys, it's Thomas from the Switch Stuff, and these are the updates I want to see super badly for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Some of these are more likely than the others, and if the last one in this list is added, I think, in my opinion, it'll make this game my favorite Switch game, bar none. Let's jump right into it, starting off with the Character Pass. Now, I already made a concept trailer all about this, so I'll keep this one pretty brief, but Mario Kart Tour is where they're getting most of these courses from. It's clear that they're based off of their Mario Kart Tour variants, even if they're updated in certain aspects and not updated in others. With that being said, the courses are not Mario Kart Tour's strong suit, in my opinion. That comes with the character roster. There are so many different characters in Mario Kart Tour that need to be in a home console Mario Kart game. I'm talking Charge and Chuck, I'm talking Monty Mole, I'm talking Kamek, Pauline, Funky Kong. There are so many, you name them, Mario Kart Tour's probably got them, and that's not even mentioning all the alternate costumes. Between adding those brand new characters and alternate costumes like this Gold King Boo, and a bunch of others I'll talk about later, a little bit more foreshadowing for you, the character pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe would be absurd. They're literally just reusing different characters, different models even for the costumes, giving them new trick animations and voice lines, which they can just rip from Tour, maybe slightly update the models, give them an icon, and bam. Not a lot of effort for a lot of payout, because people will clearly spend a lot of money on these characters as the gacha mechanic in Tour, which is hopefully, or thankfully I guess, being removed. As that has shown, people are willing to spend a lot of money on these beloved characters. Moving on, this one's super quick, the Kart and Glider Pass. Tour features a bunch of karts and gliders, and they should also be included. Not too much to say here. I mean, hopefully this shakes up the meta, boring try-hard time trial build of Waluigi and the Bitty Buggy with the roller tires and the Cloud Glider. I mean, hopefully we see some sort of mix-up with that, because there would be a bunch new character kart parts. They could even make some new tires too. I mean, there's not really new tires in Tour, like that's not one of the things you choose, but they have more than enough gliders and more than enough karts to, kind of make up for that. Next, let's talk about online game modes. This is another thing that was in my concept trailer, so I'll keep it pretty brief, but I do want to elaborate here because I wasn't able to kind of fully get my points across in that short form video. Basically, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has an online mode where you race or you battle. That's it. One of the most effective ways that you see many video games kind of increase replayability is by making new game modes that you can play online that really don't take much effort at all. Game modes like Time Trial League, where you get 12 people and they all race individually time trials at the same time, and whoever takes the tightest lines and gets therefore the best overall time, they end up winning instead of whoever wins the chaotic chaos, which is obviously an actual Mario Kart race with all sorts of random items and people actually bumping into each other and interacting with each other. That's obviously super easy to implement because they already have time trials in the game. Also, something like an elimination style mode where it's a Grand Prix of 4 races, the bottom 3 people, aka 10, 11, and 12 from the first race drop out, then 9, 8, 7 of the second race drop out, then 6, 5, 4, I can't count, what is going on? You get the picture. The final race would have 3 people, the winner of that wins it all. Those types of online game modes that are kind of just reusing other game modes, like that is just reusing the core concept of a Grand Prix, or reusing the core concept of time trials, both of which are obviously already in the game, but then adding these very slight little tweaks that would increase replayability infinitely. Like, I feel like they should totally do that. They're giving us so many more tracks, but no new ways to play those tracks. Speaking of infinite replayability, I wanted to talk about online because I know that's what most people play, but I don't know about you guys. When I play Mario Kart, it's almost always couch co-op. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent playing Mario Kart with my friends at college, either after we finish our classes or come back from, an event we're at. It's almost second nature. Everyone picks up their controllers, we pop on a little sixer of Mario Kart, and to endless screaming, punching, and yelling later, someone has been crowned a winner. It's usually me. However, sometimes to mix it up, we'll do stuff like, playing mushrooms only, shells only, bananas only, frantic items. These item variants are super cool, but I want more. Give us more customization. Why can't we do a green shells only plus mushrooms? Why can't I remove the coin option from mushrooms only entirely? This should not be an item you can get. Letting us finely tune exactly what items are available and how often they appear would be super interesting. I mean, right off the bat, triple green shells only. The chaos that would be unleashed in that is absurd. And while we're at it, I guess a little bonus tip. Once a semester, me and the boys like to sit down on a weekend, or I guess on a weekday if we don't have any homework, get into the right mindset, and then race every single course in the game. Last year, that was super easy because we could just pop on the 48 races option and bam, there we go. That is no longer the case. We would have to do a 48 and then again, as of right now, a 16 racer, but then soon it's going to be a 48 plus a 24 racer. Just increase the max amount of races you can do in one thing. Next up, let's get into the crazy ideas. Let's talk about the shop. So I already talked about the different alternate character costumes that I think should be coming in the character pass. I mean, if they're going to go through the struggle of ripping tracks from tour and then hopefully ripping characters from tour, rip the costumes too. Those are literally the easiest possible thing. However, I think in order to give some more replayability to the single player Mario Kart players out there, we should get a shop in which you can use the coins that you get during races to actually buy these new costumes. What about Builder, King, Spacesuit, Satellaview Mario, Captain Toad or Toadette, Gold Boo? There are so many of these different costumes, and obviously Kart already allows, like, that's already a feature. You can do it with, I believe, Metal Mario, Inkling, Link, Yoshi, and Shy Guy. I think those are the only 5 that have that feature, but you know the feature. It's already in the game. Would be absolutely heinous to let all these models just sit and waste on tour when 8 Deluxe is just begging for them on Switch. Next, what about a single player mission mode? Now, I'll admit this is the least likely by far, but mission mode on Mario Kart DS was super cool because it gave the single player, you know, at least a little bit of interesting stuff to do besides racing CPUs. Now, granted, single players can race online, but if you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online membership, obviously you can't do that. Given that so many people have Mario Kart and only so many people have Nintendo Switch Online memberships, you gotta imagine that there's a significant portion of people out there who aren't gonna get the membership, but would probably pay 10 or 20 bucks to get a lot more single player content for their game. Last but certainly not least, this is by far, I think, the coolest idea. If Nintendo did this, as I alluded to in the beginning, this would become my favorite game ever. So Mario Kart Tour has different variants for different tracks. There are turbo or trick variants. I never quite knew what the T stood for, but what I want to talk about here is the R variants, aka reverse. Basically, these just let you play the course, but in reverse. And when there's a section that wouldn't work, they either add a glide ramp so you can fly up to where you would need to be. They add these big red ramps, which already exist in Mario Kart 8 now, thanks to Calamari Desert. They add those to the game. They basically just do these very, very, very slight tweaks to make sure that, hey, you can actually race this course backwards. And then just like that, boom, you have essentially what is a brand new course that's just reskinned. Because when you're racing a course in mirror mode, it's not like it's a brand new course. You still know, oh, there's a big sharp left turn coming up here, but now it's a right turn. When you're racing a course actually backwards, everything is completely different. This would be absolutely incredible. It would add so much replayability because we'd essentially have 96 courses, which is what's in the base game plus the booster pass, times 2. Because again, when you're playing these courses in reverse, it's not just like mirror mode. It is it feels like a completely different course because every single turn, literally from the first turn, you are doing completely different thing. This would add replayability, and it would just take the game to the moon. Like it would be unreal if they added this in. The trick variants I didn't mention here because that would be slightly more work, as those generally have new like elements within them to make it even more interesting, I guess. But hey, I would not be opposed to that at all. I'm just saying, if Nintendo wanted something super easy to do, literally just make the game play in reverse. Reverse the like checkpoints that Lakitu puts you at and the checkpoints that make sure you're not like skipping laps and whatnot. Make sections where there's a big jump or something, have a glider ramp or a big red ramp so you can actually get up it. Maybe just don't allow this for Big Blue, I guess, because that would be pretty difficult. And boom, you have very minimal effort for very maximum profit. I say profit as if they're gonna charge for this. Hopefully they don't. I mean, if they did, I'm assuming they would, but I don't know, maybe not. With that out of the way, who really knows what Nintendo's gonna do? I want you guys to actually let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Booster Pass is the only thing Nintendo's ever gonna update to this game again? I seriously kind of doubt it. I mean, think about it. Like, we sat on this game for 5 years and now they're suddenly doubling the amount of tracks in it. It would be like criminal almost for them to not then add in a new item, a new character, anything else. It's just very, very odd. And it seems that the booster course waves are getting more and more graphically impressive throughout each wave. Like, 1 was kind of meh, 2 looked really good, and 3 looks almost as good as the base game in my opinion. So it's clear that they've either expanded the team than what it was originally, or they're giving them more time. Either way, it seems pretty good for our hopes of getting new content. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hey, another great game that came out in 2017 for the Switch is Super Mario Odyssey. And if you want to hear 50 new Kingdom ideas for that game or its potential sequel, hit the button on screen right now.